What's up, this squad? Back with another video. Y'all seen the titles going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Want to throw out a quick video about Ilhan Omar for y'all today. You know, a little bit more of update of what's happening, what's going on. Y'all, Ilhan Omar did not get into politics, you know, obviously to make this country better. I'm sure there's no surprise for, you know, anybody, especially, you know, the ones that, you know, that's on my channel. Says she came here to pirate the funds we have and to enrich Somalis and Somalia, which is definitely true. It's no secret. You know, it's definitely not any type of secret of what she's doing and how she's doing it, especially the things that's been said on not only from her but Somalians. There's been Somalians that's asked for reparations because supposedly on how they're getting treated by ICE, as ICE, you know, are clearly, you know, they're doing their job and what they're supposed to do, but they're asked for reparations. The same people that are stealing taxpayers' money, which I definitely find insane. Got it right here. It says, after a recent confrontation with the reporter over misreporting her assets, Ilhan Omar is now accused of trying to direct $1.4 million in taxpayer funds to a nonprofit that is supposedly set up for mental health support, but has a restaurant as its address. Despite the Somali daycare fraud becoming one of the biggest scandals in America, she's still moving millions around, you know, NGOs like it's a regular government policy. Check it out right here.
This is not normal behavior at all, since before all of this insanity, from 1983 up until 2020, one singular restaurant operated out of the entire building, out of the entire 326 address. Up until then, this building promoted its restaurant. Look at this guy looking through the window. Up until 2022, when they begin to have some type of BLM thing and other political posters, that's when everything gets so out of hand. You guys are not going to believe the things in this video.
326 Cedar Avenue, and that is where we are right now. So this is 326. Ilhan Omar was trying to pass $1.46 million of taxpayers' money to Generation Hope, which is a substance abuse clinic, drug addiction place that was—
It's like it's still continuing, like they not stopping.
Supposed to be operating here, but people found out that it is a restaurant.
It's the exact address where we are that she listed to receive $1.46 million.
I'll tell y'all, definitely crazy. You got more from Angela Rose though. That's not it. Says this reporter went to the restaurant Ilhan Omar was trying to secure $1 million for. This money was for a substance abuse clinic, but the brother of one of the owners said he'd never heard of the clinic even being there. So what they're truly doing is, when I tell y'all that it's truly sickening and it's truly crazy, the simple fact that they know, it's like it's almost like they're collecting as much money as they can. So then when it's time to flee, they flee and they have that money already set in stone wherever they're going. That's almost what it seems like to me. And it's definitely crazy. Here it is, Angela Rose.
None of the owners are here.
Tomorrow you will find.
Tomorrow? Ooh. You've only worked here for a couple of days?
Just restaurant, yes.
Oh, you just got the job?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Helper, change me this.
Ah. Come back. Can I ask you just one question real quick though? Because has there ever been a substance abuse clinic that operates out of here?
Clinic?
Yeah, like
No.
no clinic.
No.
Oh.
This place?
Yeah.
No, ever.
Never.
No.
Because have you ever heard of Ilhan Omar?
Ilan, she's our senator. How we don't know.
Yeah, of course. So she was trying—
Dude is literally almost like it's trained. Somebody come here and ask questions. They say, "Do you know Ilhan? Do you know?" Oh, that's our senator. Tell them that's senator. This just now, because before then, remember, they was telling on themselves, and they still are kind of, but now you can definitely see that they're getting a little bit of that training now.
Yeah. So Ilhan Omar was— What's that?
No, don't video with me.
Oh, okay. I won't video you. But I just wanted you to know that Ilhan Omar was trying to send $1 million to this address. Yeah.
I don't have any. Just
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't have anything for her.
Okay.
But I'm not, you know.
Okay. But do the owners work with Ilhan Omar?
I don't know.
He doesn't know. Okay.
It doesn't sound like any clinic has ever operated out of there. Crossroad Health Services say that they were inside of Suite 6. They say they're excited to know they were awarded $4 million. It's a good time to mention that they say the visit from Senator Amy and Mayor Jacob Frey was more than a visit, it was an investment. Also, one time their address pulls up being out of Unit 100. How many nonprofits organizations have they operated that they had to put number 100? Yet sometimes the CCRC also shows up out of number 6, just like the health services. Yet on other searches, for some reason, they show up operating out of Suite A, which is strange because what happened to units 1 through 6 and how do you go from the alphabet to numbers all of a sudden? These people are using the 26 letters of the alphabet and numbers up to 100 to keep getting government funding. Also, my intuition is that Sagel Restaurant is just a letter change away from Sahal and the many other Sahal businesses.
Have a nice day. Thank you. You too.
That's crazy. It's definitely crazy. It's like they continue to keep on doing this stuff. You know, and what's even crazier is that it's been said, you know, multiple times and you know, breaking news now that Minnesota, and it's not, again, this is something that I know that you know that is truly nothing that's surprising. As Minnesota fraud mastermind Amy Bach just dropped a bombshell revealing that Ilhan Omar knew about the massive $250 million Feeding Our Future fraud scandal the whole time. Just like we know that Ilhan Omar knows of all the other, you know, things that's been going on within Minnesota. And I'm not even going to say within just Minnesota. I know for a fact the connections is these things aren't just in Minnesota what's happening. I know for a fact these things are happening in other places too, and that she's definitely connected to it. Check it out.
Fox News alert: Ilhan Omar missed Tuesday's deadline for Minnesota Republicans to turn over documents in the Minnesota Feeding Our Futures fraud scandal. Democrats blocked an effort to subpoena the congresswoman, all as we learn that Omar's name came up 6 times in the case against Amy Bach, the founder of Feeding Our Future. Now, Bach spearheaded the scheme, which stole federal funds intended for children and was convicted of wire fraud, conspiracy, and bribery. Ilhan Omar's name first came up in an email chain with Bach back in February 2021. The subject line read, "Help with USDA food program," and a message to Omar's office. Now, about 2 weeks later, Bach emailed Omar's office with the subject line, "FNS approves Minnesota school PEBT plan." Then 1 day later, Bach exchanged messages with this Feeding Our Future employee who fled the country after he was indicted in 2022. The subject line of their emails was Ilhan's office, and the emails kept flowing after that. In March, Bach emailed Omar's office again about the state's school food program. There were also text messages between Bach and Omar's office, which was uncovered during a raid of Bach's Minnesota house. Now, while we know Omar's office was communicating with a now convicted fraudster, we don't know the contents of those messages or if Omar herself engaged in any wrongdoing. In a jailhouse interview with Fox, this is how Bach described those conversations.
Did you have any conversations with Ilhan Omar that make you kind of think twice now?
I've never actually spoken to her. I had spoken to members of her office. It was always really general, mostly pertaining to how the Department of Education was handling applications.
But then again, I feel like too, you gotta think about it. Like when you have somebody that's like that kingpin, like or queen pin, or you know, you have somebody that's like that. People gotta realize and like think too. A lot of the times, she probably didn't speak directly to Ilhan Omar. Do I buy it? I don't think. Like me personally, I think so. I believe so. Now, others, maybe not. But they work through other people, so it's not leading up to Ilhan Omar. Especially with you having this money, you being like that top person. And honestly, it makes her look even worse. Me personally, it makes it even look worse. Because when people say that, I haven't directly spoke to this person about, you know, such and such, this, that, and the other. But then again, when you have investigators and like people that's looking in and like this person obviously you know, is the mastermind when it comes down to a lot of this stuff. If you looking at that and you have a person saying that they really ain't, you know for a fact that that top person, like, they like that for real. They really getting that money. They keeping that circle real small and tight because they don't want nothing leading up to them. But me personally, you call.
And the approval
Off
or
bat.
denial of those, there was nothing of any substance pertaining to claims or meal counts or fraud or anything like that.
But Omar's ties to Feeding Our Future don't start and end with Amy Bach. She also had close ties with one of the restaurants convicted of stealing $16 million, Safari Restaurant. Back in 2018, she celebrated her primary win at the very spot. And records show she spent nearly $10,000 in campaign funds there between 2018 and 2020. It's over $3,000 a year. The food must be so great to spend that much at a restaurant. And check this out. We unearthed this 2020 video of Ilhan Omar on Somali TV working inside Safari Restaurant. And while she speaks exclusively in Somalian, we were able to make out these words: Pandemic, Meals Act, and Safari Restaurant. The chair of the Minnesota Fraud Committee also revealing Ilhan Omar received donations from several Feeding Our Future defendants. And that last name on the list right there, that's a former staffer for Omar who pled guilty to fraud. Here to react, Minnesota whistleblower David.
So one thing about this is that I absolutely love that people are still, you know, obviously staying on top of what, you know, needs to be talked about, you know, and dealt with, because it's definitely something that I don't want, you know, and I've said before, swept up under the rug. You have it right here. Nick Shirley, you know, literally says, you know, really what I've been saying for a long time, and as well as you too. Check it out right here.
Ilhan Omar.
Is she really out of all of them?
She has been so silent about this fraud that it speaks so much as to how involved she is in the fraud. If she had nothing to do with the fraud, she would be able to defend herself. But instead of defending herself, she's gone completely silent, not even trying to work with anybody who's exposing the fraud. She knows that billions and billions of dollars has been lost, but she won't even work with investigators, or she won't even work with local media. And she won't even, they gave her the option to, they gave her a final date to say, give some of the information about the Feeding Our Future fraud that she's involved in. She couldn't give any information. I mean, she lost $29 million over the since I exposed her.
So, and that's what people don't realize too, though. Like, you have so many people that you know are negative. You know, a lot of people that look at this whole fact, okay, well, I don't think nothing gonna happen. Man, y'all gotta think about this. She hasn't turned in nothing. She's not talking to reporters no more. She's not talking at all. If you even go look, and she'll obviously, their whole agenda is to bash Trump, so that's nothing that's new. But a lot of things that she did before, she's not doing now because she knows that she's in a lot of trouble when it comes down to it. Just like right here, bashing Trump. This is what she does.
With expectations quickly declining for Donald Trump's trip.
But mind you, it was just a different reporter that asked her about her crimes and what she's doing, and she kept complete silence. But anything asked about Trump, she's going to say something.
How big of a factor is his cognitive decline at this point?
Well, I mean, we've been seeing it for a really long time. It doesn't seem like he fully understands what he's talking about, doesn't have a good grasp of the reality that he's created a mess, not just in this country, but around the world.
He said that closing the Strait of Hormuz was a genius move. What are your constituents telling you?
Oh, they think it is not a genius move. You know, if you're just reading 70% of farmers saying that they cannot afford enough fertilizers. There is an economic impact, not just on the price of gas, but on everything else. My constituents are feeling it, Minnesotans are feeling it, and I know people across this country are feeling it as well.
Got it. Thank you, Karen.
She's full of it, and she knows it. I mean, it's not even. It's one thing about it. It's nothing, and it's nothing to talk about. We can sit here and conversate about Biden, and honestly, I know it ain't even worth it. It's truly not worth it. Says President Trump goes hard against Somalia and Ilhan Omar, saying that she's broke multiple laws and that it is a huge chance that, you know, she will be deported here soon.
Without you, we have Without you, we have Somalia. Okay, a fine place where we have a congresswoman who brilliantly came over to the country by marrying her brother. That was the first law she broke. That was the least of them. And she comes from a country where they have nothing but crime, bedlam, filth, a horrible place. They say it may be the worst place. Comes to our country, and then she tells us how to run the United States of America. It's an amazing thing. Ilhan Omar. It's an amazing thing how they can get away with it, and the people don't want that to happen. And hopefully you'll figure it out. But a very terrible thing. I can't stand it. She says, the Constitution gives me certain rights. Go back to your own country, talk about a Constitution. They don't have a Constitution. They never will. That's why upon taking office,
At all. You literally have it here. You know, when it comes down to, you know, when you're talking about multiple laws, says Ilhan Omar and her entire family are about to be booted from America. Mom's document fraud just destroyed their fake refugee scam and wiped out their citizenship. Says Tom Holman can personally pay them a visit. The Radical Squad member who spent years screaming about open borders and trashing America, you know, was never legally here to begin with. Says her entire political career was built on fraud. And when I tell y'all that things, when it comes down to Ilhan Omar and it, you know, things getting, you know, handled, trust me, it definitely will. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.